So recently I covered the Hydra on my channel, and the one thing that everybody said was, what about the Rat King? So if you're not up to date, let's talk about these two weapons and kind of what they're about. For both of these weapons, I ran a double crit damage, reload, and first shot Rio build, and that's because she is the absolute queen for crits if you're trying to go for that kind of thing. And these are slower firing semi-auto weapons with a 10-round magazine, I think each. And what she does is she buffs your first 6 shots after a reload. So it's a very, very good combination to use her with these weapons. And they are, very, very similar as they both use shotgun shells. They're ARs, semi-auto. They function almost identically. But it seems as though the community was rallying around the Rat King, which always confused me because I did the math a long time ago and it seemed like the Hydra was kind of better. And I can go back to my menu here to sort of show you what I'm seeing here. The Rat King was given to me by Jolie. Thank you for hooking me up with this weapon so I could show it in today's video. And you can see that hers does about a 59,000 to the head, 1.8 fire rate. These are the two notable things. Every other statistic like crit damage is, pretty much identical. And if I go to my Hydra, which frankly isn't all gold, but it's just under that damage. It's like 9,000 damage less to the head, but with a 2.25 fire rate. It does have a little bit less range, but it has a faster fire rate and if I had gold perks, almost identical damage. So I always kind of was team Hydra in this regard. I figured that it was more or less the better option, but enough people asked me about the Rat King that I figured I should cover it and the best perks for it. So ultimately, they're pretty much this. I mean, you should probably match the 6th perk, but ultimately, if you're going to be using the Rat King, you can do a crit rating crit damage build or a fire rate damage build. Both of those would be perfectly fine if you're using this as a normal AR. If it's your kind of playstyle, you're going to have a lot of fun with this weapon. It is very good. I, of course, opted to use first shot Rio. I'll show my build again on screen for you guys. You can see, so every time I reload, I have Tactical Assault Sledgehammer in the support, and Rescue Trooper 17% damage bonus, and then Rio gives me that guaranteed crit. It's a very, very powerful weapon, and of course, that loadout does really, really well to buff all of the damage coming out of this thing. So if you want to go any other way, I've kind of mentioned it already, it's very, very cut and dry. You want to make sure that your 5th perk matches your 6th perk if you have damage to slowed and snared or, afflicted targets, but because this weapon is a little bit hard to deal with if you're having a crowd of enemies, you might actually want headshot eliminations cause an explosion. That'll absolutely help you crowd clear a lot better. I actually recommended this in my Duelist video where you can see the headshot explosions was actually significantly better than slowed and snared, even though the slowed and snared had a higher DPS. What really mattered was crowd clearing in that case, and I figured that it was definitely something to consider if you're going for that route. Now, the Rat King, as a lot of people will ask me this, I'm sure, is not currently available in the game. This is a part of the Rat Rod set. I'm not sure when these might return, but they are locked behind the event schematic. So these might come by in, the summertime or whatever, but I don't know. Epic doesn't really announce this kind of thing. So if you're watching this in the future and it's available, definitely want to grab it up. In fact, you might have searched this video because it just came back to the shop. Comment below if that's you, Mr. Future Person. But as of recording this, the Hydra is available in the hydraulics section right up here. So you can go ahead and research a schematic if you so choose. But that's been the best perks for the Rat King. I wish there was more to talk about here, but really it's so simple that I don't know what else to say. Fire rate and damage has been pretty mathematically proven to be identical to crit rating crit damage. If you want crit rating and crit damage, you could do that as well. If you don't have this damage to slowed and snared or damage to afflicted down here, you can do damage to miss monsters or something because they will be part of your biggest problems. And then of course, I prefer to run reload double crit damage. You can go mag size on this. I wouldn't recommend it. 1.7 reload with the reload perk is pretty fast as it is. Without the reload perk, that's going to be very slow and make this a very clunky experience. As for the element, I'll link my elements guide in the description below. You guys can check that out and make the decision for yourself. Energy is the best all around. However, chrome husks are a thing as I'm recording this, but in the future, that won't be as much of an issue. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what I should cover next. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day. And then